I don't go and do those things to anyone I meet. I really have no intention of doing those actions from the beginning. I just treated them as adults.
Yeah, that's the problem. Kids aren't adults, dude. Thankfully, we do have a new video from Toastify, one of my favorite channels. Gacha Life's creepiest creator. Let's go. You are now watching Toastify.
On the internet, mobile games have become far different to what they used to be. Older ones like Angry Birds, Doodle Jump, and Cut the Rope are seen with nostalgia. People.
Oh, do you guys remember Doodle Jump? Was Doodle Jump like a third-party app, or was that just installed on every iPhone? I almost feel like that was on every single iPhone, because I feel like everybody had Doodle Jump back then. Doodle Jump was like the first wave of iOS apps, along with Talking Tom and Burn. Old iOS games, sorry for the tangent. They were Kino, all right? There was some serious fire there when I was like 10.
People look back on them because of their creativity, whereas today, kids are usually playing some games.
What is that? Toastify, what is that video? Kids shouldn't be playing that. With the guy at? Why?
Filled with blatant advertising brain rot that's been tied in with some sort of degenerate addiction. One of those games that's now gained quite a reputation is Gacha Life. Initially made as a storytime game where you can create your own cute anime-style characters, its well-intended community has now been corrupted by freaks who want to push fetishes onto young children. I mean, you can see this if you just look up terms like Gacha Heat online and see the array of depraved search results, and clicking on one of them will give you a pretty awful selection consisting of crude sexual animations aimed towards young kids. This is the reputation that precedes the Gacha community, one of sexual deviancy, and to this day the normal and sane creators remaining have tried to rub away such a bad stain. But when huge creators who don't even have their hands sunk into this depravity manage to out themselves as total freaks, then stuff really starts to get worrying. When most people mention the Gacha community and predators, LenTotally is the name that comes up, and that's not without reason.
LenTotally. I don't think I've ever heard of this guy. LenTotally. Oh, is this channel gone? Looks like his channel probably went down. Gacha Life is weird, though. It's kind of a phenomenon, unfortunately, where every single... What? Already? When I look it up, it's already a girl in a bikini on Gacha Life with 18 million views? Jesus. Great. But yeah, with any community like this that's intended for kids, unfortunately, you're going to have, because anyone can access it, you're going to have adults getting in there trying to creep on the children in it, either directly by contacting them or indirectly by creating sexualized content based on a kid's property that they can then get to appeal to certain people. They can push on kids, basically. That's part of their... That's like part of what's so insidious about someone like Giggly Goon Clown. Like, their idea is to like imprint their sick fetishes on others knowingly. It's very disturbing. All the EPI people.
Despite not being the biggest creator in the space, he was definitely one of its most talented and influential animators. Len was one of Gacha's oldest fans and spent years building himself up. By the time he was 19, he had his world in the palm of his hand, with his character even being put into one of the games. But within a few fateful days, his reputation was completely torched. This is Gacha Life's creepiest animator. LenTotally, real name Alan, was born on June 13th, 2000 in the Philippines. We don't know much about his life other than the fact that for as long as he can remember, he has always had an interest in art. We also know that Alan was first introduced to the Gacha franchise when he was 16. He noticed his younger brother playing Gacha Studio, and Alan subsequently fell in love with it. In 2016, he began posting gaming videos and Gacha Studio music videos to YouTube.
What about this is so appealing to people, even when you're a kid? What about this, like, horribly animated thing is so appealing? Is it just because of the accessibility, like anyone can do it, so you see other people making quote-unquote animations from it and that's why? What about this is so enticing and inviting? Because they're gooners? Well, the kids aren't gooners. If you're like 7 years old, you're not a gooner yet. Children are stupid. Well, when I was 7, I was a genius. I was watching World War II documentaries at my grandfather's house, okay? I was freaking based.
This continued until around mid-2017, and to this day, we don't really know what the channel is called. This is because YouTube actually terminated him for, quote, playing a certain game that doesn't allow recording. That's what caused the channel to close down. Given that context, we can assume that he was hit for piracy or some sort of copyright issue. Alan's next try was the LenTotally channel, once named Zinner as seen from the channel's old URL. Around 2018, he would begin posting videos under the name of LenZed, which was the name of his original Gacha character.
I think Gacha Life is just go animate for mentally ill anime kids. Honestly, when I thought Gacha Life, I honestly thought that Gacha Life and Go Animate were the same thing. It's only now that I'm realizing there's a delineation. I forgot they weren't the same exact thing. The Battle Bears channel, shout out one of my vids, based. Can we watch Tony Hinchcliffe's hilarious stand-up? Yeah, maybe sometime, perhaps. Sure,
lucky for him, this was great timing for anyone wanting to start a gacha channel because Gacha Life, the next game in the franchise, had just released. Thanks to his GLMVs or Gacha Life music videos, Alan established a decent viewer base pretty.
What actually is the game behind Gacha Life? Like, what are the mechanics of this game? How come as soon as I look it up, it's all weird shit? I'm on Gacha Tube. Check out their official YouTube channel. Baby Shark. What is Gacha Life? Like, what even is the game? It doesn't even look like a real game. It's a role-playing game that allows users to create and customize animate-style characters on a mobile device. So it's like Webkins, but for little anime people, basically. Is that it? Gotcha. Okay, I guess I could see how children will be into that. You can see why that would be their thing.
Pretty much immediately. Soon, popular Gacha Discord servers began to notice his videos. He would grow even faster a few months later when a Gacha Life sequel was announced, named Gacha Life 2. Alan would jump on the opportunity immediately, posting concepts for what it could be. This included a fake Gacha Life 2 trailer and news segments discussing the progress of the game. This, combined with his previous catalogue, helped him jump from 2,000 subscribers to over 50,000 in only a month.
Holy
Within the
shit.
next month, he had hit over 100,000 subscribers, during which he also changed.
That is a lot of growth on YouTube. I've had like maybe a few months on YouTube where I'll get that much growth, right? I've had like maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 months where I've gotten more than like 50K subs in a month on the main channel. That is an insane amount of growth for any channel, let alone something that seemingly would be so niche like Gacha Life. Sometimes it's hard for me to understand how big these communities are and just like fathom how massive these people's channels are. I'm gonna look up most popular Gacha Life YouTubers or Gacha tubers. Top 15 most subscribed to Gacha YouTubers. Let's see here. Whoa, some of them have 1.8 million subs. So LenTotally wasn't even like the biggest guy. Holy shit. Anna Stories. Contacto/contact. So this is kind of a Spanish speaking thing maybe. Dublado. Animatronic. Mini film.
Todos os vídeos dublados por esse canal possuem outro. Você está bem?
Você acabou comigo. Agora vou retribuir.
Do que você tá falando? Socorro!
Bro, just watch Cartoon Network. You don't need to do that. You don't need to watch Gacha Life animations. Cartoon Network is written better, okay? And it looks better. Well, most of the time. Brasil.
Changed his name from Len Zed to the name most know him as, LenTotally. But this growth seems a little unnatural.
The premise is that you create a character and you're a weeb net. Weeb neat. Imagine me's but Reddit and gay, okay?
It's understandable that someone's channel would grow if one of their videos blew up, but to have such a sudden subscriber surge is unlikely. That many people don't sub from a few videos alone, so what's going on? Well, one part of Len's channel that you need to understand is that he was obsessed with collaborations. Unlike a lot of gacha creators who just include their own characters in their music videos, LenTotally loved to feature his friends. It didn't even matter what type of video it was, whether it be animatics, music videos, comedy skits, etc. Len would also make popular gacha YouTubers into 3D models, which, if you're familiar with the picture book-esque stereotype that Gacha Life usually gets, is far beyond the expected standard. Simply put, Len loved the idea of a community, which also adds to why his inevitable collapse was so stinging to the fandom. Unrelated, but Len also did videos with his fans on his Discord server. Totally not foreshadowing whatsoever.
Bro, having a primarily child audience and having a Discord server is always a bad idea, I think. Even if you don't do anything wrong, it's always just a liability. Get out of there, bro. Get the fuck out.
Len had built a community, and it wasn't just his own community through fan interaction and promoting his friends. He had built up the gacha community as a whole, due to his willingness to connect with larger creators. And all that led to the peak of his career, a Gacha Life music video collaboration with another YouTuber named Milyie.
28 million views?
Their video in June 2020 has now accumulated almost 30 million views. Additionally, when the
I'm in the wrong industry. Every time I see this shit, I'm like, I'm in the wrong area, dude. I need to stop making commentary videos and just make whatever this is. Holy shit. So this is the video with 28 million views. This is what helped blow him up so much. I mean, the editing is kind of impressive, actually. It's cringe, obviously, but this is like, this is decent animation. It's much higher quality than all the other gacha stuff we saw, which is basically just 2D sprites on a still background walking around being like, like, my voice is kind of hoarse, so I can't do the weeb voice. So you get the idea. Like, this is obviously visually much, much more impressive, so I guess I see why it blew up so much. Probably took a decent amount of time to do. It feels weird watching this after the whole LenTotally thing, but this is so nostalgic. Damn. Nostalgic for you. Not me.
Next gacha game titled Gacha Club was released, LenTotally co-founded the Gacha Stars. This was a large group of gacha YouTubers with channels ranging from millions of subs
Team 10
to
for
only
gacha
thousands.
creators.
The group was founded with one of Len's closest friends and collaborators, Suki Online, and another friend and popular gacha YouTuber, Rosie Closey. It seemed like the Gacha Stars would become a sort of cornerstone for the Gacha Life community, and its legitimacy was furthered even more when the next update came for Gacha Club. Right in there were all the characters of these YouTubers, including LenTotally. Alan had gone from a fan to having his character featured in a gacha game, and from then the road to success was already paved out for him. His subscriber count had shot up to 500,000 subscribers, and by late 2020 he was nearing 600,000. He also wasn't a one-trick pony either, enjoying more success.
These videos are so short that I'm wondering if they were making ad revenue off of them, because this is after the change to favoring watch time because you get more ads rather than raw views. So I wonder how much money they actually were making, because you can get like maybe one ad on most of these videos, one pre-roll. Because they have so many views, like the one with 28 million views definitely made some serious cash, but I don't know if they were able to make a serious living from these gacha videos if most of them were so short. I mean, it's not like they're collecting donations. Kids don't donate to this kind of stuff. They don't have money.
Videos featuring a gender-bent version of his character. Len must have felt like he was on top of the world, but even there, his reputation was not without his issues.
Jenkum says, wait a minute, this gacha's just for 10-year-olds. What made you realize that?
They weren't huge and were mostly washed away by his influence, but something was there. To most outsiders, something felt off about how close Len was to his peers. When Len was out there being best friends with someone like Suki Online, that came off as a little strange. Suki was only 15 whilst Len was 20, and at age 20, if a 15-year-old is your best friend, that is kinda weird. Even weirder, many of LenTotally's fans began speculating that he was dating Suki and began shipping their characters with each other. In his 500,000
It can definitely be weird. I mean, I don't like the idea that any adults who are friends with minors are like necessarily doing something weird, because there are like totally healthy mentorship roles that sometimes adults can have with people who are like teenagers or young adults. There's not necessarily anything sexual going on, but the idea that it was just his best friend when he was 20 and she was 15, that is pretty odd. That is weird.
Subscriber special Q&A, LenTotally rejected the idea of ever dating Suki. He said that they were only best friends and discouraged any of the shipping discussion. But as Len dealt with one issue, another rose from the Gacha Stars YouTube group. In particular, a small creator by the name of Siatri Sardonyx had been causing chaos. Siatri only had around 2,000 subscribers and had joined Suki Online's Discord server as a fan. What she didn't expect is to become friends with Suki and her entire friend circle, including Len. Siatri was suddenly living the dream of a fan becoming friends with their idols. But things changed in 2020 when she was caught shit-talking these same YouTubers behind their back.
No!
So why would
she was shit-talking her fellow teenage gacha tubers? I'm a high school senior, and all the weird girls in my classes had a gacha life phase. Really? I guess times have changed. When I was in high school, the weird girls in my class liked Panic at the Disco and Hamilton. They never got into gacha life. It's like, at least as far as I know. I didn't know them that well. I mean, they all like Webkins and shit like that, but I guess to me that just seems relatively normal. Not when you're in high school, but that's interesting. In high school, did they have that phase? That's kind of strange.
She do this? Well, Siatri says that she had issues with Suki because she felt that Suki was ignoring her in favor for others.
My ex had a gacha phase? Well, maybe that's why she's your ex.
She would also joke about not having to do her job, which was moderating on Rosie Closey's Discord server. As for Len, she accused him of being a Unfortunately, details on this specific allegation are incredibly vague. A lot of it hinges on a now-deleted community post that has not been archived. What we do know is that due to what she said, Siatri was thrown out of the Gacha Stars and banned from a multitude of Discord servers. By early 2021, LenTotally continued his unstoppable rise through the ranks of the Gacha community. He had brushed off the controversy with Siatri easily, as she was only at around 2,000 subscribers, whilst he was on his way to 700,000. On February 20th, 2021, LenTotally would upload a video animating the then popular My Little PogChamp meme in Gacha Life. He didn't know it yet, but this would be his last upload for months. When asked in that previously mentioned 500k subscriber special about how long he would continue his YouTube channel, whether there was a goal and what he was pursuing, he said, "I simply love seeing people reacting to the things I make since I don't get much attention in real life. My simple goal is to at least be remembered by people and continue making content." And Len would be remembered, but
Bro is terminally online.
for reasons he probably never wanted to get out.
Part of the problem with ousting predators from communities like this that are primarily populated by kids is kids don't know how to deal with allegations or even take them seriously. Like when you're 10, you don't really know what a creeper or what some kind of like predator is. It doesn't even make sense to you. And if you do, you might not even understand that, you know, a 20-year-old and a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old and like a 10-year-old doing stuff together is bad. Because you're a kid, you don't understand consent. You don't even understand what sex is really. You might not even care because you just don't get it yet, right? So like policing communities like this, you know, usually internet communities like this are policed. Every internet community is usually policed from the inside unless there's an actual crime and then somebody reports it and the police get involved. But as far as public perception goes around these allegations, it's pretty hard for these situations to be dealt with in communities of primarily children. You have to have an adult step in to deal with it, you know? And even at that point, some of the kids, because they just don't realize what's going on, they'll openly defend the creeper because they like his content and not realize like how bad that is.
On February 21st, 2021, an anonymous account posted a video titled LenTotally Exposed, Evidence of LenTotally Grooming a Child. Inside, the short video exposed several messages that Len had been sending via Discord. Len was 20, whilst his accuser, who had her anonymity protected, was only 14.
Ooh.
The poster stated that Len and this 14-year-old girl had been messaging for months, during which they talked sexually through DMs and on call. And she
This is kind of lending credence to the idea that Gerbert Johnson put forward in his video about why so many YouTubers are creeps. When he explained that like a lot of the guys that are creeps are also terminally online porn addicts who never go outside and never have real relationships, so they end up messaging children basically. Lending a little bit of a credence to his arguments there.
He sent him sexually explicit pictures and videos. On screen, Len can be seen saying that she had sent him 23 sexually explicit videos as of September 13, 2020, and comments that he has a lot of material to, quote, fantasize you. In another DM on the 22nd of August 2020, the girl talks about watching anime with a friend on Discord, and Len jokes about her performing sexual acts on him as she watches. In this screenshot in the
I don't know what the law is like in Portugal, but I really hope this guy's in jail right now. I really, really hope so. That is foul.
the 23rd of June, the two have this conversation about Len wanting the girl to send pictures of her breasts to him. You hottie, would like a video later. Also, I can do a video tomorrow. Thought I can enjoy one tonight, or this midnight. I can only do a simple lift-up shirt. I mean, the bathroom is another option. Well, sadly I have nowhere to place my phone. Darn. What else does your pervert mind have to request? I'm not gonna do it yet. Mix all the things up from before, since we can't go further. One incredibly long screenshot on the 15th of June shows Len engaged with a girl in online erotic roleplay, fantasizing about fondling her, and then going into more detail about how she would use him as a, quote, makeshift massage chair, I'll give comfort, and talks about stripping her gently. This
Makeshift massage chair? Jesus Christ. I didn't think this was going to be this bad. Clearly committing a crime by getting videos, encouraging her to take them explicitly, demanding them eventually. This guy needs to buy a rope ASAP.
This roleplay continues in the next screenshot, where LenTotally asks for a video of her, quote, enjoying herself. The day before this roleplay, on the 14th of June, his deviancy is only emphasized, as he begs for more explicit videos from her, and in another screenshot, he confirms that he's been using her videos for his own sexual pleasure. You've told me you've to my pictures, so asking for more wouldn't be so bad. Deep sigh. But do my pictures really turn you on that much? Yes. Really? But videos makes it fappable. So the video I sent earlier got you so much you wanted to. Also, it's critical here. My heart is gonna die out due to excitement, and I would love that. That would be far more enjoyable. Yeah, you being gentle is impossible. Okay, that's getting me. Until it gives some slosh.
When I'm making my videos, this is always the worst part, having to read what these fuckers say. There's probably way worse that Toastify isn't reading just because of TOS and probably just not wanting to read them with his own voice and have that out there. But this is always undoubtedly the worst part because you can know it's disgusting even without the explicit details. You can know it's foul regardless. When you actually have to look at it, it's extremely fucked up.
Sound. Won't take long. Oh, really? Okay, I think that's enough.
If you knew someone like this in real life, a 20-year-old talking to a 14-year-old, you would want to beat the fuck out of them.
You should probably sleep. I'm not stopping until you give me one. Not gonna complain about that. The best I can do right now is just a pic, sadly. On the 11th of July, they talk and say, anyways, I'll chat to you later. I'm gonna take a shower. Another video might be nice. Oh god, lol. Okay, my dick is on the mood. I felt so much pleasure doing it today. When did you even have the time to? Before night began. It's very clear if you can read past and block out all the disgusting and detailed messages that Len knows far more about explicit topics than this girl. He goes into far more detail about what he wants to do to her, and her responses are usually following his orders. Also, the dates provided in the screenshots show that at the very least, Len was in this relationship from July to September 2020. This means that it happened over the summer, throughout Len's burst in popularity.
He knew her age, he knew what he was doing the whole time. He continued it. He encouraged her to take pictures. He knew he was committing a crime. This guy is fucking evil, man. This is the kind of person that Mike should be going after, not Jeff Nippard. My lord, we need some skibbity meditation after this one. The gooning is too much. Yeah, we definitely will. We're gonna, later on, we're gonna have to play some Minecraft to get over this, to have a little bit of a brain reset.
And around the same time that Siatri made her accusation against him. She may have been booted from many servers for her disagreements with others, but at the end of the day, she was right. The video states that LenTotally had, quote, emotionally manipulated and traumatized the minor because of his actions, forcing them into a highly depressive state for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, that's not hard to guess. I think you could, even without someone saying it out loud or the minor talking about how much it affected them, you could probably guess that a 20-year-old trying to get 14-year-olds to send them weird shit is probably going to be traumatizing to them. This guy has no regard for what he's doing to this poor girl.
Before emphasizing the threat that LenTotally posed to his large, impressionable, and mostly child audience. It leaves off by stating that they would absolutely show more evidence if Len denied the accusations. The release of the DM shocked many, especially considering Len's previous stance on people shipping his character with a minor. Those who were waiting for his response, whether it be denial or admission, wouldn't have to wait long, as only a day later, Len posted his first response on his community tab. And there was no denial. LenTotally confirmed that this happened. As much as I hate drama, it's not going to end well for me, I'm highly aware. Though again, my side is always part of this. The evidence is true, as much as I regret it, I did such things to...
Cindy Bear moment, he admitted to all of it. That is insane. And the crazy thing is, if he admitted to it, he probably thought he could continue having a career after this point. He probably thought he was going to be just fine and no one would ever talk about it. And at the time, probably no one like big that was like a commentary channel or someone of that level did. Because it was in a community full of minors who couldn't have even understood how bad things truly were. Tom, I need a palate cleanser, do the close my eyes. As funny as that would be, I don't really want to do the close my eyes thing when we got, you know, an on-screen confession of somebody confessing to sexting a 14-year-old. I feel like I probably wouldn't want to sing that right now. Maybe later, though.
Someone. I'm sure the majority won't be on my side this time. Anyways, enough of that, let me begin. Let me just call this person a her. I really have no intention to fall or like people younger than me, but this really started with that. I'm not the one who initiated, but since it's so repetitive that it got out of hand. She started the flirting and I love yous, I shrugged it off at first, but yeah, it slowly got out of hand after.
This is always the excuse, bro. Oh, I didn't initiate it, she just came to me and, you know, she was trying to get me to do it. I was just playing along with what she wanted. I was just playing along with, you know, what the child wanted. The child wanted it. You have to understand, like, you guys can be mad at me all you want, but the child did message me first, and the child did want it. Did I do something disgusting? Maybe you can say that, but realistically, she was cool with it. So what was I supposed to do? Be like, no, you're a child? That's ridiculous. Like, this guy's a fucking retarded. Fuck this guy. And it's always like, oh, it's just a coincidence that they were this age. I didn't really, you know, even think about that. I mean, maybe they were, you know, 12 years old, but, you know, it was just a coincidence that they were that age. Like, you know, she was so mature for her age. Like, bro, just fuck off. Go away.
After that, she then bridged me to her friends, we all got close, I simply trusted them, so I connected and bonded with them, even if from my perspective, it's pretty wrong. Sometimes their topics don't really fit their age group, but I didn't think much of it at the time. I'm just there joining them to fit in, so I trusted her and all that. You can actually clearly see how close I am with them through our past videos. I've evidenced myself, but it won't be enough to fight against that. So, child grooming. It didn't really reach the point that I'm affecting her life in a bad way. That's what I think anyway, it was just me and her.
It was just me and her. What does that even mean? It was just me and her. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, that's the point. The problem is it was her and you, and you're an adult, bro. Bro's supposed to be an adult. Yeah, I don't know if his brain is so rotted from making animations for children for his entire life, is one claim to fame. I don't know if that's what ruined his mind state, but it's fucking so fuck off. I fucking hate this guy. It didn't reach the point that I'm affecting her life in a bad way. It did necessarily. That's the point. If you're messaging a kid that's that young, you are affecting her life in a bad way. You're introducing her to these weird interests and fetishes and gooning habits. It's called grooming, bro.
The thing is that we were really open about each other, and I have evidence of that. I guess my mistake is simply going with it, even if it got out of hand. I'm still to blame either way. As for the screenshots, it's those moments where she requested me to do intimate scenarios through roleplay. There are multiple points that I strayed away from that friendship because I'm highly aware of how wrong it is. We sometimes get into fights because of that.
You know how wrong it is, yet you continued it. It doesn't matter if you say, oh, I knew it was bad the whole time. You did it anyway. If you actually thought it was bad enough that you didn't want to follow through with it, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. As soon as she told you her age, you would have been like, okay, I don't want to interact with you anymore. You're too young for me to be around you. I'm going away. That's what you would have done. You would not have continued messaging her past that point, fully knowing her age. Someone needs to make a wood chipper Gacha Life animation.
Be distant from each other until we just cut ties at one point. I don't go and do those things to anyone I meet. I really have no intention of doing those actions from the beginning. I just treated them as adults.
Yeah, that's the problem. Kids aren't adults, dude. This guy's like, he's not only evil, he's stupid. He's a moron.
Feel free to unsubscribe or /and hate on me. Len's statement is a strange one. Whilst he tries to make the case that he isn't a his proof is very weak. No evidence is provided alongside this, and the points he makes towards this paint it as just kind of a slip-up. For him, it's as if he accidentally got involved into it, as if it didn't go on for—
You have to understand, there was a banana peel in front of the miner. I simply slipped on it and my dick fell into them. Like, come on, bro.
2 months. Additionally, Len's description of this as just drama comes off as dismissive. At least Len actually knows what he did was wrong and straight up says that, but that is also the bare minimum. Many of the reactions to this post were surprisingly mixed. Some obviously caught on to Len's bullshit, including some massive YouTubers, but others actually went ahead and defended him. This is probably because the Gacha fan—
Emerald Clove says, this is so true. After looking at the screenshots, it seems like the victim is going with it. So I think she's not considered as a victim if she wasn't forced or she willingly sent those inappropriate videos. And if you analyze their messages more, it seems like the victim liked it when Len harassed and flirted with her. Okay, so this person commenting this is either a child themselves, in which case, you know, they just don't understand, or they are
fan base consists of people who are too young to comprehend the idea that a 20-year-old dating a 14-year-old
the child wanted it.
Is wrong. These were people who only saw the relationship in Len's retelling of what exactly happened.
M. Ackerman, I agree with you. After watching the video, I've started to think more about mental age. The victim's messages show that she wanted this. These people who keep on giving references about grooming don't understand the girl is not exactly a child. There are stages. Okay, this person is probably just a straight up then if they're saying that. If you say a 14-year-old isn't a child and it's fine for a 20-year-old to interact in such an inappropriate manner with them, you probably have something wrong with you. Even her way of chatting doesn't exactly show an innocent person who has no idea about what they're doing. It's just because she's 14. People are making excuses for her and are disregarding the possibility of her being in the wrong. Yeah, yes, it is impossible for her to be in the wrong if she's 14. It doesn't matter. She's 14. That's it. That's the end of it. That's the end. Like the argument doesn't go beyond that. You don't need to have some like Reddit deep interpretation for how, oh, well, the child wanted it and they were mentally mature. Yeah, that's what a would say.
Soon after, on the same day, LenTotally edited a statement to say, "Edit, I'm very sorry to her, to my fans as well. I'll take full responsibility. You can go ahead and interview me in the comments about the matter." The chance to question him wasn't up for long, as on or around the next day, Len would delete his first response and post that statement as his own apology, before then deleting that and posting another apology, as well as DMs allegedly sent from the girl to him. So I asked someone to contact her through someone. I just hope that he doesn't do this to anyone else. I still care for him and I don't want to do any legal charges against him because he still deserves a chance. He has a future, and I hope he learns from the mistakes and actions we both did.
See, this is the problem when it's a kid, they don't realize that this guy is like a sick fuck preying on them. They only know what other people tell them, so they can convince themselves that this guy didn't do anything wrong. One of the most disturbing phenomena you see is the victim protecting their abuser, because that's the intention of a groomer, to convince them that there's nothing wrong with it and it's totally fine. Emma says, this type of stuff is so much more common than people realize. I have so many stories like this and knew so many girls with similar experiences in high school. Yeah, unfortunately, it seems pretty common. It's not like it's not like every fucking kid is getting groomed out there, but yeah, there's been a lot of cases like that. I think some girl that I banged once told me that she, like, in high school, she got groomed by somebody when, like, on Xbox Live or something. And I was like, what the fuck? Xbox Live, they're just everywhere. Like, they're constantly, they find a way, bro. They find a fucking way. It's like that Mr. Girl line, okay? You guys know these bars? Love finds a way. Yeah, the will find a way. It's this.
You're playing Minecraft in the cave looking for diamonds. That's funny. I'm in the same cave looking for miners.
It's literally that.
Please don't ever do the same thing you did to me. Don't make empty promises to me. Don't give me hope for something I clearly couldn't have. Response, understood. I really am sorry for what I've done. I assure everyone I will change for the better. I'll gladly go to jail for the actions I have done. Forgiven or not, I will respect everyone's decision. The next day, on February 24th, 2021, LenTotally would delete all community posts on his channel, turning off all his comments and deleting his associated gaming channel. Our commentary channels such as Galaxy's OK, Norny and The Hotbox were quick to cover the situation, with the Hotbox's video getting over 300,000 views.
Look, I know cancel culture is a storm in 2021, but this is something more severe than that. This is about the existence of someone who threatens to endanger other minors in a very active community. Gacha is huge on YouTube. That means a bigger pool of potential victims for...
This is why you can never forgive these people. Because when they have an audience of children, and this is like one of the sick urges they have, they will always reoffend. You constantly see it with sex offenders. They get arrested, they go to jail for like 6 months, they get out, and then they do it again and go back to jail, and they do it again and again and again until they're locked up forever. They can't help themselves. I really hope legal action was taken on this guy. I know someone in chat said age of consent in Portugal is 14, so, and also like, if the girl he was talking to is American, obviously going across countries is kind of a difficult thing to get legal action taken, but I really hope this guy got some kind of punishment. At the very least, a little slap on the wrist at the very least. Just something, please, something. How much you got to donate to make you play mouthwashing on stream? Spooky walking sim. I do have that on my list of games to play at some point. You don't have to donate to me, though. I'll play it maybe at some point, but don't worry about donating. Never donate to me with the promise that you think I'll play a game, because I'll probably never follow through on it.
For Len, should he decide to come back under his channel name or under a different name.
Within a few days, LenTotally had lost everything he'd built up for over the years, and it was absolutely his fault. The following days would see all of his connections severed, as all the gacha tubers who were close to him previously were quick to disavow Len's actions and separate themselves from him. The next few weeks or so consisted of reactions of absolute disgust towards his actions, and people tearing down his status inside the community. All in all, he lost around 30,000 subscribers. But anyone who believes...
Not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. Delete that loser's channel right now.
The situation would just end here was too naive. The next major update to the situation wouldn't come until nearly a month later, on March 20th, 2021, when a small YouTuber by the name of Oopsie made a video on the situation titled LenTotally, The Truth Unveiled. The video aims to give a supposed fair take on what happened, and does provide a far bigger insight into the situation, giving us plenty more screenshots showing the interactions between Len and the 14-year-old. Oopsie's screenshots show that the girl and LenTotally had their first interaction in late July of 2019, after meeting through a Discord server owned by a mutual friend. Oopsie says that from then on, they would become close friends, and with another friend they would have sleep calls together on Discord.
Offenders are widely expected to reoffend by courts. Yeah, that's the difficult thing for this, because like, I don't know what solution there is for someone like this other than permanent incarceration or worse. I don't know what solution there is to dealing with some kind of groomer. Because it seems like most of the time they do reoffend. I don't know if you can like therapy it out of them or something like that. I don't know if you can help them. I remember when I did the Half-Baked podcast with Mama Max, before he had his whole thing come crashing down, I had said, like, what do you think, should be done in society to people like this? And he was like, the death penalty. That's the only solution. They're all so fucked up. And looking back, I mean, Max obviously was like a cringe, evidence falsifying vigilante, Hotline Miami cringe lord. But at the same time, I don't know. I haven't heard any other great solution for this kind of thing going on. Chemical castration. Yeah, that seems probably fair. So they can never have sex again.
Others stated that they would always stream in a server called Entwined. In November of 2019, the girl asked a friend of hers to send her a video of Len singing whilst playing the guitar, which she said,
take away their internet access forever and seclude them to a town that only has adults or something. Probably that wouldn't even work. Maybe it would. I mean, the thing is, there are actually little like pockets of communities that exist like that. Tyler Oliveira did a video where he went to this town. I think it was in Florida. It was like a trailer park where like sex offenders all live there, because I think the owner would like just accept them for whatever reason to collect rent. It was like an entire town of them. He went there with a camera, and obviously they wouldn't. Who would want to live there? Sex offenders. Sex offenders who don't want to, because obviously when you're applying to an apartment and you have to put if you're a felon on your apartment application, if you don't put it there, they might find out anyway. And when they find out what you did, they're not going to want you there, because if the other tenants in that apartment building find out that the people who own the place have a fucking there, obviously the parents there and even anybody else living there who isn't guilty like they are going to have a problem with that.
Sent over. On February 25th, 2020, the girl admitted that she had developed feelings for Len. Initially, he rejected her, saying, "Okay, I'm not sure how to say everything because I'm still in a hesitant state in the entirety of us being together and the fact that you're younger. That promise, my relationships with and all that shiz, I don't really want to decide until I think I'm ready for relationships again. So, the reason that I love you, I still find this cringy, so, well, you're the caring / sensitive, and that as a whole is adorable for me. And of course I love that about you. That already screams how loyal you are in a relationship. Also, your thoughtfulness and the open honesty got me good. There are times you're pretty honest about yourself, and it usually caught me off guard, because some are pretty unnecessary. But hey, it's cute either way. There are times where I sometimes feel like I'm distracted by you most of the time, because whenever I call, I can't help but feel comfortable, which leads me to too much."
Like, he knew it was a problem the whole time, dude. He knew it was a problem the whole time. He said she was younger and he had reservations, and then he did it anyway. He knew it was wrong. He just couldn't help himself.
Procrastination. Your presence is just that infectious. So if we call, I can't study. I'd rather just listen to whatever you're watching, whatever you're saying, or
Critical
I guess whatever
gooning
we are
mass has
doing.
been reached
To sum it
by
all up, I
LenTotally.
love the way you are. I'm in dilemma. I'm attracted mainly in your personality. You make me too comfortable. This is interesting because it completely contradicts the sentiment in Len's community post. He had wrote himself as a sort of unwilling participant back there, but here he lists off multiple reasons why he likes her, and this is in February of 2020. In late March, the girl messaged another friend stating that she had been ERPing with different people since she was
If Neuralink got good enough, would you be for forced behavior modification via implant? Generally, I'd say yes, as they can go on living without harming anyone, but then where's the line drawn? Yeah, I mean, with Neuralink in general, I'm pretty scared of that stuff being implemented into society at all, mandatory or not. Because the problem is, like, let's say we get some kind of, person in power who just decides that their political opposition is and they Neuralink them to be brain dead. You know what I mean? Like, there can be a lot of issues with that. I don't know if that's a great solution. Maybe in an ideal world, if we could just surgically remove the part of their brain, if that was possible, that would be great. But I don't know. It seems like a very slippery slope.
12, and additionally sent this screenshot here, where Len says, "Embracing each other, slowly sliding my hand, holding places not often touched." This, as far as we know, is the first sexually charged message that Len sent to the girl, along with these ones. Oh dear, well, I mean, if you want to. Well, what can you offer? My body XD, though sadly not yet. Chokes, this is dangerous. What's wrong? Not in it for the risk? I thought you wanted to kiss me and more. I don't know, I might not be mentally prepared. I have my limits. Well, we'll see what those are. Oh dear, how? A few days later, Len started ERPing with the girl. Unless you want to go further, I'm not complaining. Why don't you sit on my lap as you draw, so I can hold you tight as you do? Did you actually like that experience? Holds your thighs for support and gets faster. Progressively moves rougher and rougher.
Alright, I get the idea behind the gooning DMs.
To an argument with the girl after she insulted him in a Discord VC on the Entwine server. 2 reasons why. I don't want to call with you. It's getting so frequent that you see me trying to fight back. But of course I'm not good at it. But when it actually works, I turn into the enemy in the entire call. It makes me feel like I should just leave. Is that all? I feel like I forgot most of the reasons. Just tell me when you remember. Fighting back is something I shouldn't do. First, I'll apologize for my behavior towards you and others around you. I act different when you're around others because it's me being obsessive, and it's really not how I actually act. It's just I get like this when you're around and it's not your fault. Told you.
0 days since the last grooming allegation. I mean, to be clear, this is an old allegation. This happened back in 2019 is when the crime was committed, I believe. 2020 is when it came out. So this is covering an older story, to be clear.
Friends with benefits. Way better than having commitment. Use me for training, at least for now. Hey, we're both test dummies to each other. Use me as your stress reliever. What is this, scum's wish? Hey, at least my friends with benefits with the person I actually like and not get a replacement.
Friends with benefits with a 14-year-old. How low can you go?
Oh god, welp. I'll try to rewatch your vids then. By November 19th, the girl and Len had broken up with each other after she found out that he still had feelings for his ex-girlfriend. Len wanted to end the relationship on November 1st.
Imagine being this guy's ex-girlfriend and finding out he's messaging a 14-year-old he met from his Gacha Life YouTube channel. What a dark place to be in. I would be questioning basically everything if that happened.
But the girl obviously rejected that. However, the video states that she kept sending him nudes until as far as December 2020, so I can only guess the friends with benefits idea was still open to Len. It was only after getting out of the relationship that the girl realized what had happened. Whilst the screenshots make LenTotally look far more terrible than we had already known, Oopsie's videos frames them in such a weird and awkward way, trying to imply that the girl should also take some responsibility.
Really? So the person who exposed him in the best way, was implicitly trying to defend him.
As shown in the pictures earlier, the victim was the one who decided to change the relationship into a sexual one.
It's shown the victim tried to change the relationship into a sexual one. Isn't that kind of a oxymoron? The victim? You call them the victim, and then you literally blame them in the next word. It's a child, man. It's a freaking child.
Offering pictures of themselves with no gouging or prodding at all from Len's side.
Yeah, but he's just supposed to say no and stop interacting if that happens. He's supposed to not have sexual interactions with this person. That's the point. She's 14. She can't consent. She can't be blamed. She's a child.
Len
What is wrong with these fucking people? Why do they just constantly go out of their way to defend it?
had only joked about the topic with the intent to drop it, whereas the
He joked about it with the intent to drop it? Is that why he continued messaging her for months?
victim persisted up until she offered herself and pics later in the conversation.
You can't even say that. You say the victim. She's a victim. It doesn't matter. This entire conversation is nothing. This girl is like in 8th grade or a freshman in high school at the very oldest. A 20-year-old should not be talking to her.
Whilst the girl's retelling of the situation was dishonest in some parts, that doesn't take away from any of Len's responsibility in the situation. If a minor offers an adult's sexual pictures, that is the adult's responsibility to set boundaries and reject them. Adults who don't do that are clearly fucked in the head and should not be allowed around kids. No amount of moralizing about what she did will support an argument where you're essentially saying the child was asking for it.
The victim was well aware of the misdeed she was offering and was even warned by her friends as shown and explained earlier.
Yeah, but she's a kid. She can't understand, like, how serious this is. If she understood, she wouldn't have been messaging him in the first place, but she's a child. It's your responsibility as an adult to not engage with a child that way. How many times do I have to say it? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, Oopsie? I think you did make an Oopsie. Is this person, like, dating him or something? Are they his fucking underage sister who doesn't understand, like, that what he did was wrong? Why are you trying to defend this guy?
While the victim is underage and cannot give legal consent, this is a teenager who is aware of sexual content, was warned not to do it and told otherwise, and persisted.
I like how they have lawyer footage during it, as if lawyers would ever argue this. Your Honor, the victim was well aware of the fact that they were 14 and he was 20, and they continued engaging anyway. As if a lawyer would ever make this argument. If a lawyer did that, I hope their fucking law license would be taken away permanently. Your Honor, the victim was aware that sex existed, therefore they are responsible for what happened here, not the adult. These are the consequences of the Industrial Revolution that Uncle Ted was warning us about. I mean, there were before the Industrial Revolution.
On their offer of sexual acts despite it all. In legal terms, she cannot be faulted here.
It's as if this video's creators understand that kids and adults shouldn't be doing sexual stuff with each other, but completely misses why kids and adults shouldn't be doing sexual stuff with each other. The result is that it just feels like a sweeping up for Len. It twists the situation into a both sides are wrong argument, and justifies that by equating a toxic relationship to requesting nudes and role-playing with a minor. The girl wasn't malicious towards him by lying about her age or blackmailing him or inflicting serious harm upon him, so why even go down this route? The video ends off by firmly stating the girl did not experience any trauma as a result of her relationship with Len, and says that Len wasn't actually abusive. They state that she doesn't have depression because she was talking about her experience with Len with her friends, and she would have hidden it if she was traumatized. Instead, this girl was flaunting her actions to her friends previously, and she just wanted attention from LenTotally. This is again just another misunderstanding of how these things work, and again, it's treating her like an adult in a situation where she has done nothing that would warrant that treatment.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Even if she had done something that warranted her treatment as an adult, it doesn't matter. She's not an adult. Like, how can you simultaneously call them a victim and say that he did something wrong while also placing blame on the victim when they were 14? It doesn't make sense. It's not even like just victim blaming. It's like victim destroying.
Of course she would flaunt that she's in a relationship with Len, because that's what all teens do with any relationship they're in. And in situations like this, they don't understand the severity of the situation until they're older. Whilst the video is incredibly stupid in its analysis, it was...
Disclaimer, this is my own freedom of speaking my opinion on the situation. I'm not into both sides. I will focus my opinion on the victim. What she did to him was quite speechless, and the fact she had the guts to lie even to her closest friends, and the fact she provoked him on doing such explicit stuff is something not a 14-year-old would do. But at this video, y'all can clearly see that she was very mature and had a mature mind on these things. She doesn't look traumatized at all anyways. She even got a boyfriend at the same time when she still had feelings for Len. Oh my god. The 14-year-old cheated on the... How terrible.
was initially received well in the comments. Again, this is mostly thanks to the younger gacha audience who didn't understand the situation and only viewed it through the lens of who was being more mean. For a couple of days, it was as if the public opinion had suddenly been switched from LenTotally being in the wrong to a both sides idea, whilst most of the actual adults in the situation were sitting there.
Yeah, she doesn't look traumatized. Guys, I asked the victim if they were traumatized. They said they weren't. They may be 14, but, you know, I DM'd them on Discord personally and asked if they were fucked up, and they were like, no, I liked it. Therefore, nothing bad happened.
And wondering what on earth happened. Meanwhile, LenTotally had just been given a platform to come back from seemingly out of nowhere, and made a video response to his situation on March 22nd, 2021. Len's video received a lot of positive comments and likes, yet siphoned off a lot of the same logic that the Oopsie video operates on. In fact, they are—
These people know each other. They're friends somehow. She's dating him, or she's like an AI voice somehow. She's another victim somehow.
mere mirrors of each other.
There's no explanation for this. I don't really get it.
Thought process on why he accepted nudes from this girl when she offered them, Len seems to allude to it being all in the moment, having mixed feelings on it.
June 13, 2020, my birthday. On that day, I was very busy all morning until night came. As I recalled, she offered to give me those explicit images. In my perspective, it really gave me so much mixed feelings since this person made so much gifts, helped me out, and such. I did not really think it through, so I just accepted it.
Oh, I didn't think it through, guys. Come on, you gotta give me a break. I didn't really think about it that hard, you know? Maybe if I had thought about it, you could hold me accountable, but like I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't deliberate. You know, it was just like she messaged me and I slipped on a banana peel into the child. What is wrong with you? How do you think this would hold up whatsoever? Which of this guy's other friends convinced him that his arguments would hold up ever?
But then I slowly got interested about this. Over time, then I started to like it.
Overall, this video just takes Oopsie's distraction points of it being a toxic relationship or of her being a dick and makes it the central point of his entire response. Again, just like the Oopsie video, Len will constantly hammer down that he was wrong for what he did, but is unable to realize or develop upon why what he did was wrong.
Moving on, this is during or around the time that this is referred in the exposed video. There's a point where she mentioned these. This is really one of the biggest mistakes I've done because I agreed to continue. I guess I was swayed of how deep our relationship was, so I ended up going for it. It didn't really end well for us since this became into a very toxic relationship.
And considering that he states his parents believe this is a personal problem that shouldn't have been published, it's easy to see where he gets his ideals from.
I've already talked to my parents about this. They told me that this is supposed to be a personal problem. This should have been settled privately without...
But, like, you did it through your YouTube channel. First of all, I don't feel bad if a pedo gets exposed publicly when they didn't want to be. Like, fuck you. I don't really care. Like, it's not really my problem. And secondly, like, you personally did this using your public platform. You messaged somebody who watched your gacha videos. So fuck you.
Involving the entire gacha community as a whole. The only things that they have achieved from this is damaging the community itself.
Over the next month or so, Len's video...
The only thing they've achieved by exposing me for being a creep is damaging the community itself. No, they damaged your reputation, which is your fault in the first place because you messaged this child. My parents said it should have been a private matter. Well, they're your parents. They're going to feel bad for you. Who knows if you even told them the truth about it. I don't care what your weird defending parents think about what you did or if you think they're right. Fuck you.
Video was surprisingly well received, and got around 20,000 likes with positive feedback in the comments. It wasn't until May 19th, 2021, when gacha YouTuber Kuri made a video responding to LenTotally's response. Whilst the video generally goes over many of the same arguments pointed out in this video just in further detail, it involved Len's former friends Rosie Closey and Gacha Vito. This was incredibly significant to the audience because these were Len's friends and massive YouTubers who were no longer limiting themselves to supportive community posts.
We know that this is a topic that many of you probably want to be over with already, and trust us, we would like to see everything resolved. But as some of the eldest in the gacha community, we felt it was important for us to address the issues within LenTotally's response and the reaction it has caused.
Well, it's good that they're at least dealing with it and they're trying to tell their audience about how bad he is. the few responsible adults in the Gacha community. That is very nice to see. Bro pulled out the Predator PowerPoint. Yeah, he did.
2 days later, LenTotally made another response via his community tab, and it's probably his worst one yet. Inside the statement, he leaked that he also apparently contacted the victim's parents, and the situation was now being dealt with privately, whilst his so-called exposers were not interested in a private conversation. Len then talks about his...
Yeah, why would they be? Guys, I groomed a kid, and I talked to her parents about it, and they didn't want to talk to me. It's like, come on, guys, don't leave me on red. Just answer my DM. What do you expect, bro? What do you expect a 14-year-old's parents to say when they find out that a 20-year-old has been grooming her online? You think they're going to be like, oh, let's have a chat. Hop on Skype.
Video and accusations of victim blaming, stating, "Let me remind you, there was no victim in the first place. I did not groom that girl, I did not manipulate her. She really was my best friend. The mistake here is that I let anything slide in our relationship without thinking of the consequences. I did not deny that I did nasty things, that's a very big issue on my part. I treated her as an equal. I mean, that's how I think best friends work, but that's literally the problem here, ignoring the age gap and ending up thinking that she is a romantic partner. If you review..."
The only thing this is missing is a Google Doc at this point. Well, I'd like to see a Google Doc. Maybe a few like Hassan or XQC reactions would be good. Maybe like Twitlonger, maybe like a notes app, like inverted colors, like black screen with white text. That would be cool to see for sure.
View my response video, consider how many times I wanted to get away from that person. Len also leaks that the girl also lives in the Philippines, which is the same country as him, and one that, at the time, had an age of consent of only 12. This paragraph where he says that this fact
12?
convinced him really throws a lot of people off, because it's implying that if this girl was as young as 12, he would still go into a sexual relationship with her.
What a self-report. Guys, the age of consent where I live is 12, so, like, I thought it was fine.
It signified to everyone that Len's moral compass is completely beyond repair and dangerous. Len also stated that he created an alternate account to observe or spy on the girl, and stated that she was now trying to pretend to be innocent by playing...
Everything he did was legal. I doubt that the CP exchanging was illegal, because even in countries where the age of consent is that low, usually filming stuff like that and getting it as an adult is still illegal. I'm not really sure how they enforce that in the Philippines, but yeah.
The sympathy card and claiming to be traumatized and depressed. Again, literally no conception of any of what's going on or anything that's wrong with his current ideals. Admitting to straight up stalking the girl privately through a different account is just insane behavior. On May 25th, 6 days after Kuri's video, LenTotally's channel would vanish from searches, and as no one could find it, everyone believed that he had deleted his channel. However, this misconception would only last a day or so, as Gacha commentator FloaterLendy posted a video showing that he was just hiding his channel and had deleted his response.
He was probably hoping to hide it and that the backlash would come back. Or sorry, the backlash would die down, he'd be able to come back. Or he was hoping that he could just rebrand or something later on. The thing is, these guys, when they get caught and they get public backlash, if they realize that the people around them won't let them to continue doing what they want to do, usually what they'll do is they'll leave for a little bit and then they'll come back on a new channel and just start it all over again and eventually commit the same crime.
After that, LenTotally would go completely silent as his career continued to slowly burn to a crisp. Everyone hoped that they'd seen the last of LenTotally, but they were wrong. On September 13th, 2021, LenTotally would return after 4 months of inactivity by rebranding his channel to Zin, which is a short...
What'd I say? What did I say? How good am I, chat? I predicted it. I'm a genius. I knew what the would do.
Of his first channel named Zinner. The following day, he would start uploading animations to his channel as if nothing ever happened. Despite being completely obliterated by the gacha community, Len's response and rebrand seemed to have worked somewhat, and he continued to upload for the next 8 months with a surprisingly consistent wave of support. Sure, it wasn't the higher echelons he'd been hitting before, but the fact that his animations regularly hit around 90,000 views was proof that some of his young fans still stuck around. Maybe just another testament that no matter what you do, you can escape if you just keep uploading and blotting out all the controversy. In February 2022, LenTotally rebranded again, this time to Sinister. He would inexplicably quit for 2 months after that, and by the time he came back, his momentum was dead. His return in May 2022 was nowhere near as successful as his first.
Hope his channel gets deleted. I hope much worse happens. I feel like his YouTube career, being in the toilet, should be the least of his concerns considering what he did and how twisted he is.
With these gacha videos of Minecraft animations only getting around 20,000 views per video. His last upload would be on May 30th, 2022. So why would he stop uploading?
Yeah, Sinister, he is kind of Zen-maxing. I didn't even catch that. I was too focused on how sick in the head he is. He is Zen-maxing. All is forgiven. Popping Upper Decky, you're fine, bro. You have to understand that while he may have messaged a 14-year-old, he did pop an upper decky right after, and it was a cinnamon flavor.
Well, on June 4th, we got our answer with a video from one of the original people who was part of the Oopsie channel. That person was literally Yohan, a Gacha Life YouTuber with around 90,000 subscribers, who revealed that he and a friend by the name of Poison Syrup were actually behind the Oopsie channel and that awful video.
What?
We would like to confess that Poison and I made the exposed video about Len through Oopsie. The information that was shown in the video is still valid, but some of the claims at the end were wrong. We realized that it was insensitive for us to dismiss the victim's claims of
Why do they dismiss it? Were they underage themselves when this happened? Like, how do you get into this level of brain rot?
depression and trauma. No one has the place to say that. No one can truly know what a person is going through. Moreover, we had a screenshot where the victim confessed that there were times when they said no and were uncomfortable, yet Len persisted, in the context of sending explicit content.
Though Yohan takes back a lot of the arguments that he made in that video, one part that remains barely untouched is that he directly lied about his involvement in this video at first. In fact, he only appeared in the comments of the video as someone who could confirm the screenshots and their authenticity. This would have probably written him off as an unreliable narrator, considering he wasn't even honest about his involvement. So it was a saving grace for his credibility that the information he shows in this video is stunning. Yohan states that another girl, a 17-year-old, had come to him and stated that Len had been grooming her when he was 22, with them beginning their relationship in late February of 2022. This fits nicely as an explanation as to why Len went AWOL for a few months. Their DMs state, "That looks hella attractive, not gonna lie. I got a cute attractive girlfriend. I can die happy now. You still there? Hey baby, I'm here. Hey, net died XD. Hehe, that's reassuring."
The way these gooners type is so dark, man. What's wrong with them? At least type it slightly more coherently and not such a cringe Tumblr furry way. When I have to listen to someone read it, it doesn't hurt me physically.
I love you so much. I love you so much as well. I need material right now. Much like what was going on with the first girl, Len's relationship here has undefined boundaries, and he completely failed his promise to learn. The two were in contact since late 2021, and had been flirting with each other according to the girl. The girl also stated that they only got into an official relationship on her 17th birthday, and in the place where she lives, the age of consent is 17. That suggests that Len absolutely wanted to date her when she was younger. He just waited for her to turn older so he could avoid any repercussions.
He was playing the long game. He was edging. He was edging his grooming allegations.
Which is textbook grooming. Another thing is that, as seen from this DM, she wasn't particularly experienced in relationships, as she states that Len showed her the second explicit video she's ever seen in her life. Not to say that you need to watch explicit videos as some sort of qualification, but it does emphasize the difference in maturity between these two, especially when she's sending nudes of herself to him. Even if 17's just close enough, it's pretty disgusting that a 22-year-old man is in a relationship with her.
Yeah, and also, like, if he's already been, once again, if he's already been accused in the past, how retarded does he have to be to do it again? He just can't help himself. It's so easy to not talk to kids. Like, you can just not do it. It's pretty simple.
And it makes it worse with Len's history. Just goes to show that if you let groomers back online on a platform where they could harm minors, they can and they will absolutely act on their urges. Speaking of platforms, the girl also revealed that Len had been working on a new gacha channel in secret called Antagonist, where he uploaded very similar content to what he'd been posting on his main channel. After Yohan's video, it was soon deleted. Yohan also revealed that he and others had been in contact with LenTotally from June of the year before, and that he received this information about 2 weeks prior to the video and decided to confront Len privately. Len chose silence as his option and avoided questions, leading to Yohan giving Len an ultimatum of 1 week to take responsibility for his actions. Len obviously didn't listen, and you can guess what happened. Despite it being 4 years after LenTotally groomed a 14-year-old, it's clear that the community still remembers him. On June 8th, 2023, Gacha YouTuber BronyBoy4563 posted a video showing that LenTotally had unprivated his channel and rebranded it to Sinister/LenTotally.
Yep, they always come back. They always come crawling back. This guy should have his shit deleted. You've lost the privilege of making cringe animations. You're no longer allowed to make money from cringe animations. It's over for you. Stop. Just stop, bro. And he clearly didn't even learn or change. I wouldn't even I don't think anyone should forgive him for, you know, being 20 messaging a 14-year-old, but he was like, oh, it was a one-off thing. Not even sure. You did it like the next day. You kept doing it, you fucking freak.
The archives. You might think from the word archives that he was probably done with the channel by then, but on July 21st of this year, he started posting YouTube shorts to his main channel, only to be bullied out of continuing by the comments. One look at his YouTube stats only proves that this channel is now a failure and is totally dead due to his completely burnt reputation. It's ironic that he got his start from following the updates of Gacha Life 2, yet by the time it had released, he was nowhere to be seen. Yet he's essentially left in a state of limbo. Despite having received many illegal images of minors as an adult, it's unlikely that authorities will ever get to him. As we mentioned before, the Philippines, where he lives, had his age of consent at 12 during Len's actions, and only bumped it up to 16 in 2022. So, despite a dead channel and a fading memory of his existence, why is LenTotally so well remembered as the example of a inside the Gacha community? Well, it's because when Len entered the scene, he crafted a community by himself. He co-founded the Gacha Stars, made huge collaborations and connections, was pretty talented for the time, and made his friends into popular creators themselves. He was the catalyst, the one who brought the Gacha community closer than it had ever been, and upon his exposure and expulsion, the community only drifted further apart from each other. In fact, some of Len's former associates have gotten themselves into controversy for more weird behaviour, and it does make you think about that group of Gacha YouTubers at the top. Why exactly were Siatri's reports about Len being rejected? Was there just no evidence at the time, or was it something more sinister? We may never know. LenTotally's messages may not be anywhere as near as taboo as some of the content in these Gacha Heat videos, but that emphasizes just how dangerous he was. Even whilst being outed for his utter and detailed degeneracy, some of his viewers may have seen his actions as nothing compared to what is out there.
Anybody who makes content that is intended for like it's using characters or properties that are recognizable to children, and they're using that to like make it sexual and put it on YouTube, immediately that person needs to raise like a million red flags like right away. It's so strange. And this guy wasn't even making sexual content. He wasn't making Gacha Heat content. He was just making normal Gacha stuff, and he was grooming kids anyway. So it makes you think, what about the people who make like sexual content out of fucking Poppy's Playtime or something like that?
Reality is that he is just as bad, if not worse. Until next time, stay safe and stay toasty.
It's a pretty disturbing story there, Toastify. Unfortunately, I mean, this is not going to be the last of these cases. Very unfortunately. I did try looking up his channel and I couldn't even find it. Did he delete his channel since this video? I can't even find the original channel. I see a lot of videos about it, but I went through the channels tab and I couldn't even find it. It's with an X. Untotally X? Fuck, what? Fucking, what is with an X? Will Destiny X tape be out on election night? It might be. I don't get why there are so many of these creeps. I mean, the thing is, and I will reiterate this again, as common as they seem, this is still a very small amount of the general population. Even among YouTubers, the average YouTuber is not a creep. I don't even think it's higher than in the general population of people. But, you know, when you hear about somebody being it's going to really disturb you, obviously. And you're going to remember it, and it's going to be like a shocker because, you know, somebody will be willing to do something like that. LenTotally Archives? Did he rename it to an archive channel? Comments are turned off. I wonder why. No, comments are turned off on the entire channel. Damn. Well, get fucked, LenTotally. Hope your life gets ruined, buddy. More than nerdy has been.